Oh yeah.
Let's go Matriark Theatre.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm Luke.
I'm Scott.
I'm Murray.
And we're from Matriark
Theatre.
Theatre.
Are we doing that one to the camera?
I mean,
It's just the chance to completely let go. You know, there's no restrictions, and it's just able to embody these characters that have been loved for centuries. Yeah, these stock characters that I think people immediately relate to and can immediately see in people in their ordinary lives. Yeah.
It's also that sense of play, so the freedom to get on there going, all right, I know I've got to get from point A to point B, but I can do whatever in the middle. So just like having fun with that and being silly and really finding that sense of play and that childlike nature on stage.
Yeah, it's super playful, and it's kind of like a dance, except it's like it's a purposely terrible dance.
It's like the Macarena.
I think with Commedia, you try to rehearse as much of the physical stuff as possible. So you got a lot of acro, and there's a lot of fighting, a lot of moving, and you try as best you can to get that stuff down. Of course, it's improvised in the moment, so anything can happen. So I've seen somebody take off hat, go to throw it off stage, and instead the hat flies off out the window. And you just kind of have to work with it. But that's probably one of my favorite moments, because after that nobody knew what to do about the hat, so it created its own artsy, which is like comic action. Yeah, there's a freedom that comes with the mask, which is really it's so much fun to play within.
You hear a lot about like the stage fright and that sort of thing, but again, yeah, once you put that mask on, it's kind of like you can hide behind it. And you see the person come through the character a lot more, and you see elements of them that weren't there before. And you're like, oh, that's who they are. So,
yeah. Also a lot of freedom to be silly, and often we don't let people be silly. And so you have to stand here, and you have to move over here, and you have to say it like this. No, say it with more meaning. But with Commedia, it's very much not like that. It's like a bunch of kids playing out of a dress-up box. It's so rare to see full-length Commedia dell'Arte done. Like you just don't see it. And it's not just kind of an artifact of a bygone era. This is like fresh Australian Commedia dell'Arte. It just doesn't really exist. No. So we're really excited, because we do a lot of shorts, and we've done a whole bunch of shows, but none that's going to be as extensively and originally Commedia, I guess. Which yeah.
I think one amazing thing about Commedia is just historically, it is like the mother or the father or the auntie or whatever. It is the cornerstone of all comedy, going all the way to modern comedy now. And I think for any kid kind of wanting to understand the backbone of comedy, the real bones of comedy, like Commedia is the place to start. It's
Not to mention, it's going to just take you from that mundane everyday and just throw you into a situation where you're allowed to laugh, you're allowed to be silly as an audience.
Macarena. Macarena. Hey!